Hey guys, this is 6 p.m. and welcome to this session. The One Punch Investor explains how to start investing in 2020. So sorry for you guys to come in. Let me know if you can hear me. If you can hear me, please type where you're from and also any questions you have. Okay, so this is one of the common questions that some investors ask me. How do I actually start investing? I mean, any of you guys are totally new. If you are totally new, please type new. If you have been investing for a number of years, type the number of years that you have started investing. Well, regardless whether you're new or whether you are like seasoned in investing, some of these ideas here, I think can still be applied in today's context. Wait, let me see whether there are some comments around. Hi, okay, great. Thanks for actually coming onto the show and really continue to ask me any question so that I can serve you better by answering your question. Otherwise, I'll just be like telling lame jokes that's not even funny. Okay, but anyway, let's get started. 3 ways to start investing for beginners, and let me just share. Of course, well, the tradition is I got to start with some not funny money jokes. Okay, so this is one joke that I want to start with. By the way, why am I telling jokes? Because I feel that right now the whole situation is not a very happy situation. So I want to add some laughter and entertainment and also inspiration. Okay, so let's go. So this joke is So I'm telling my friend, hey, do you know that I'm a long-term investor? And guess what? When you talk about long-term investing, who is the one that you think of? Who is a famous long-term investor? So my friend replied saying, oh, so you mean you follow Warren Buffett? And my reply is actually no. Actually, all my short-term investment have failed, so I'm still holding them long-term. So it's meant to be a joke. Okay, wait, I forgot the sound effects, okay? Anyway. All right, let's go back to the actual topic. So what are the 3 ways to start investing in today's context? Okay, am I able to, are you laughing at me? Okay. Oh, you're talking about dividend stocks. Great, I'm going to touch on dividends as well. Great. Okay, so now I'm going to actually go right into the 3 levels of investing. If you're totally new, it is just like maybe working out or maybe like I would say exercising. You start slow, correct? So I've seen investors who are pretty new, they straight away jump into very advanced techniques. And sometimes it can be overwhelming and like your muscles are not warm out, it's not built up. And suddenly, bam, you're supposed to hold a 200 kg kind of weights. It can be very, very tiring and you may tear a muscle. It's not to say that the technique is wrong, but we may not be able to handle it yet. So let me go to the first method that I personally will recommend if let's say you are starting out. Okay, I shouldn't recommend any investment. Please do your own homework. Now, so question, how do you start investing? So you must understand, in terms of investing, especially in the stock market, the key mantra is this: good business, good price. This is what Warren Buffett or any very strong fund managers have been preaching for many, many years. Buy good businesses, meaning to say, if you look at the stock market, listed company, good businesses with good products, you believe that they can buy, they can sell more. This is a good business, and buy them at a good price. Meaning to say, your skills level needs to consist of being able to spot good businesses and also being able to evaluate them at a good price. Now, for beginners, this may be something quite daunting because in order to study a good business, you do need to have a checklist and need to dive deep into them. Which, if you are interested, of course, I'll be sharing more in my subsequent episodes on how to actually study the good businesses. And the next portion, valuation. In my previous video, when I talk about valuation, I realized almost half the audiences, they went to watch Korean drama instead because, well, you do need to take some practice before you can get the hang of it. So let me start with the most basic portion of it. You don't need any of them to start investing, but you can start to learn by getting involved. Now, I'm also very sort of against the fact that you keep reading and really going for classes so much so that you have to perfect the skills before you start investing. You cannot perfect the skills without getting involved. So how do you start getting involved? So this is my first, I would say, idea is to get started with automatic investing into local indices. Now, I will explain this in a moment's time. So you can see, right, by the way, any of you guys understand what is automatic investing or regular savings plan? If you do, you can type RSP so that I know that you have gotten involved into investing. This is the easiest way to get started. It is not the most profitable, but let me share with you, it is pretty safe. Okay, why do I say that? For most countries, whether you're from UK, Malaysia, US, Singapore, most countries, the brokerage firms or the banks, they are providing this service to allow you to set aside a certain amount every month, for example, $100, or 200 ringgit, depending on your currency. Set it aside every month at a specific date. They will take that money and buy into local indices ETF. Let me go further into it. Okay, by the way, let me just show you how is it done. Oh yes, it is like dollar cost averaging, and it is investing into a particular ETF. Okay, let me go and share my screen and show you this. Now, by the way, if you have not followed us on YouTube, you can go to the next level, look for this logo, or you can type for Sean Sia next level. There's this particular video that I talk about how to set up automatic investing in 5 minutes with a local bank. Now, this context is more for Singapore, but I'm pretty sure for most countries, if you ask your banker, they do have this service. But in the context of Singapore, let me just give you an example. You can see that I posted this video last year in 2019. Actually, this video, when I check back, I was using an ATM to set up this thing called a regular saving plan. You can see RSP, and I invested. Now, I created this particular video just to show my friends how to invest. But you know what's the interesting thing? I actually forgotten about this particular investment. This is the beautiful thing. Set and forget. How many of you guys are forgetful people? Now, if you don't think you're forgetful, maybe you forget the times that you actually are forgetful. So most of us, we forget things once in a while. And as you grow older, okay, things may become worse. But anyway, when I check back on this particular video, I can see right here, I invested in 2014 and I invested $100 every single month. So when I calculated, I've invested in total $7,200. Well, it may not be a lot, but it's better than not starting at all. I'll explain a bit further into what exactly are you investing. For this particular way of investing, let me go back to my slides. You are actually investing into your local country's index most of the time. So for example, in Singapore, it is called the STI index. What it means is when I put $100, I'm taking these $100 to buy into a fund, and this particular fund is investing into these 30 big companies in Singapore that represents the Singapore market. Now, guys, can you make a guess? What is the index that represents US stock market called? Anybody knows? What is the index that represents US stock market called? Most of the fund managers in that country is trying to beat that index. In other words, if you actually buy into unit trusts, buy into mutual funds, they are typically, most of the time, benchmarking themselves against how well the local market is doing, typically. So like these 30 stocks, some of them go up, some of them go down. Collectively, how much do they actually go up throughout the years? Okay, let me see whether you guys know the answer, correct? So yes, SP500. Oh, is it? Does my voice sound echoey? Okay. Is it nicer? Is it not nice? Okay, anyway, let's go back to it. Oh, my voice is echoey. Let me just do a quick correction into this. Hang on. Now, is this better? Is this better, guys? If it's better, just type yes. Okay. Yep. Okay. For Singapore, SPY. SPY is the ticker symbol. Hi, Charles. It's a ticker symbol for that particular ETF. S&P 500. Yes. Or Dow Jones 30. Is my voice getting better? Okay, great. So, So now, let me share with you guys this. Like I shared with you, right? I set up this particular fund, you can see, in 2014. And let's check the results right now. I've invested about 7,000 plus. I can share with you right now, as you guys know, because it's the STI index, all right? Let me share with you right now, it shouldn't be doing very well. Because if you look at for the past 5 years, it has gone down, right? I've been buying up, down, and it has gone down. Anyway, this is not the particular ETF. This is the benchmark for it. So if you go to, let's say, for example, DBS, oh dear, I have to log in, okay? Nowadays, you don't even need to you do not even need to go to, you can see, you can just go to the website and then you can actually go to more investment services. You don't have to go to ATMs anymore. Investment services, there's this thing called the regular saving plans. Set up exchange traded fund, regular saving plans. Let me just show you guys the results. Okay, I need to log in with my SMS. So, but this is quite interesting. Just now I was checking it. I realized without knowing, I've collected certain amount of money every single month. So it is very useful for beginners for a very simple reason. Because I want to share something. Not everyone is suitable to manage your own portfolio. So if you set aside a certain amount of money and you start to actually invest every month without thinking much, right? Even if you don't make money, you do save
aside a certain amount of money. So it is like a savings, okay? So it's a regular savings plan. Where is my SMS? Okay, anyway, you can just go to your bank account. Typically, there's these services. I'm not sure, Charles, you're here. Does UOB actually provide these services? Just give me a moment, okay. Wow, okay, so this is 309-179. Okay, let's see whether it works. No, thanks. Okay, great. So you can see, once you come to the invest segment, go to more investment services and go for regular savings plan. I was checking here. Yes, redeem funds. You can see right now, my market value is 5,008, near 6,000. I invested 7,002. Now it's 5,008. So I sort of lost money. But well, the market is down. It's okay. I believe in the long-term future of Singapore. Right now, I mean, if I measure this last year, it will look like it made quite a bit of money. Okay, this is useful for beating at least inflation. Does it make sense? Now, why does it beat inflation? Very simply, if you take a look in your country, the biggest companies are the one that cause inflation typically. So you're investing into the biggest company. If you can't win them, you buy them over. So this is one simple way. It's called automatic investing. Now, really go and check out with your brokerages. Go and check out your banks. Typically, they do have this service for you to invest, I would say, automatically. So for this case, like for example, POSB or any other bank account, they will ask you like you can use cash, SRS. Wow. Now there's more choices. Okay, but anyway, just get in touch with your bankers. They will be able to help you on this. Let me check. Okay, great. Now, let me go to the next portion. Remember, automatic investing, I seriously, strongly encourage you guys to get started while you try to actually form your own portfolio. Because worst case scenario, 3 months later, you get lazy. You say, oh, investing is not for me. At least you forget about this thing that you said and forget. And few years down the road, wow, I got additional a couple of thousands of dollars. That would be wonderful, isn't it? So do this on a regular savings portion. And I do advise looking at your indices, because generally speaking, unless you don't believe in your country, generally speaking, prices will go up and you will be sort of like benefiting when you do dollar cost averaging. You buy when it's up, buy when it's down, and overall it's okay. And there's so much charges. All right, so Dow Jones Industrial Average looks like this. Bursa, Malaysia looks like this. Okay, so now let me share with you the next level. The next level is to invest into ETF, and I'm going to show some websites on how to invest into ETF. This is called level 2. Level 2 is a little bit, we require a bit more skills than level 1. Level 1, you don't need any skills. The only skills you need is your finger skills and remembering your password. If you cannot remember your password and don't know how to log into the internet, I don't know what to do, okay? So this is level 2, like investing into sectors or investing into ETF. Okay, ETF, again, is a ready-made portfolio. And in this case, the website that I like to use is ETF.com. I mean, there are many websites, but this particular ETF.com, to me, it is one of the best tools for looking out for ETF. So there's screeners, there's quite a number of things. Please go and play around with it. Well, if it's too many things to get started with, right? Maybe what you can do is go to ETF.com, click on ETF channels, and you can see this is some of the ready-made ideas for you guys, like biotech ETF, bond ETF, gold ETF. So now, your skills level needs to be a little bit higher than automatic investing, not thinking right. Now, in this case, look at these sectors here. And maybe I ask the audiences right now, based on the sectors you can see right here, obviously there are more types of ETF, but these are some ideas for you to get started. Based on the ideas here, which ETF or which sectors gives you a little bit more confidence, you believe that for the next 3 years, 5 years, it will be growing. This particular sector will be growing. Okay, so now, just let me know. Probably, to me, I think healthcare is evergreen. So now, for example, if you believe in healthcare, say, no, this particular sector, healthcare, will continue to grow because there's more baby boomers and because of coronavirus, because of a lot of things, there'll be more opportunities. What you can do is go to ETF.com, go to ETF channels, click on healthcare ETF. They will bring you to various possible ETF. You can see here, top ETF performers. And what you can do is you can click into them. Personally, typically, a safer one I like to click in is into this SPDR. It's a very established kind of ETF, I would say, fund manager. So click into it. Oh, okay. ETF, healthcare and services. Okay. And once you click in, right, please explore around. It's pretty fun. Okay. Now, what you need to do is to decide on which sector you like. You can read out a bit more, and then you can even compare different ETFs. And then you can scroll down all the way and look at what are the components. Well, typically, man, I don't even know all this, man. But you can read up a bit more about it. And okay, the whole key idea of ETF is you don't have to pick individual stocks. Get it? So it is like a ready-made portfolio. By the way, let me just see some of the comments. Healthcare, technology. Okay, great. Yep. So this is what I talk about. What I mean by ETF. You don't have to think too much about it. Now, however, your skills level for picking stocks is not that high. You don't have to pick particular good businesses. You just need to pick good sectors, which is typically easier. Because if you have to pick a good business, right, you must believe they are in a good sector, and out of the good sector, you have to pick like so-called the best of the best in that sector. Whereas for ETF, you just pick the whole entire sector. Cool? Now, so after you choose a sector that you typically believe in, remember, the good news about buying stocks or ETF is you can just start with a small amount. So for example, this SXHS, right? Let's check what is the price right now. Okay, this website is hanging right now, but let's go and check stock price. Okay, it is okay, $77. So if you have 100, I mean, if you want to do the $100 a month, you can do that. Every month buy into one ETF, another month buy into another ETF. You will have a portfolio of ETF. That can be done as well. Okay, so you can actually start investing with $77 USD. Okay, if I talk about US listed kind of ETF, which is typically the market that I actually invest into. Now, the thing that you need to know about ETF is you need to ascertain which sector, plus you need to understand a bit about valuation. So typically for ETF, we look at P ratios and PB ratios. The P ratio now is a negative 23, which is no good, okay? So in my later videos, next time, if you're interested in valuation, you can type valuation, and then I can talk more about evaluating ETF. So there are ways to know entry and exits into a stock market or into a ETF. Valuation is one of them. Technical analysis is another one of them. I'll talk about the difference. And I prefer, let's say, fundamental analysis, which is a valuation. Okay, so PB, PE is one way to look at ETF. Okay, good. So this one is a second way that we invest into the stock market to start investing. Again, this is if you are investors. By the way, even if you're not investors, right? Even Warren Buffett, Warren Buffett do I would say recommend or suggest that investors invest into ETF and invest into index ETF, looking at the cost structure of it. Okay, I think Chloe actually did a particular workshop on ETF. Do go and watch it if it's still available. Now, the third level of investing, it is to form your own portfolio. Now, this part requires us to have a little bit more skills. And if you are a beginner, I will recommend that you buy your first stock and build your portfolio step by step. Don't go in with, let's say, $10,000 and start to actually construct a portfolio immediately. Buy your first stock, get a feel of it, understand one, followed by another one. It is just like, for example, if you're a new startup, a new company, typically don't take all the money and start to actually go and start hiring people. No, you need to understand the hiring process. You hire your first employee, but the second one, the third one, the fourth one. Typically what we do is we hire our relative, right? Hey, come on, join me. And then, oops, may not be the best fit. So you will have some learning curve. Now, it's the same thing. When you form a portfolio, it is like hiring a particular company, a stock to work for you. Now, I will highly suggest, again, I must refrain from using the word recommend. I will highly suggest you can look at the list of stocks called Dividend Aristocrats. Now, this particular list of stocks, right? I like this website pretty much. It is here. It's called Simply Save Dividends. I'll actually post all the links onto this current post again. But this particular website, they talk about these 52 stocks that have been giving dividends at an increasing rate for the past 25 years. Now, this year may be slightly different. However, why do I actually highly recommend or suggest? No recommend. Okay. Why do I highly suggest dividend stocks? Because they have longer track records. That's where you can study a bit more about finances, understand companies that have been successful. And of course, in the future, can you actually add other stocks to your portfolio that doesn't give dividends and doesn't even have earnings? Answer is yes. But it's a good idea to start with dividends. Reason being, right, let me tell you, it is very useful psychologically. Do you know why? Even when stock market is down, you will feel like, oh dear, I picked the wrong stocks. It is down right now. But the stocks, if they still continue to give you dividends, you will feel a little bit better. It is very psychological. Even though dividends are being taxed if you are not in the US, but I still think it's a good idea because you still see some income coming in. So my suggestion is start with Dividends Aristocrats. And this particular website is pretty good because when you go to this website, simplySaveDividends.com, They even dive in deep to explain to you each particular stocks. That's where you can learn a lot about picking your own stocks. So this is my particular suggestion, to go through the stock list, read about them, and see which one is your favorite at this point in time. Of course, remember, at level 3, you need to find good businesses and also understand when to buy them at a good price. But again, if you buy them because of dividends, the valuation method will be typically based on this idea called dividend yield, which you can actually study more about it. Now, this video is going to be a short one. I'm not going to go through like 1 or 2 hours talking about every single way to actually study each investing. So I'm going to just come to the end of this and coming back to my slides. So as I mentioned, the 3 levels. Number 1 is to start auto investing, which I strongly suggest, not recommend. Go to your broker, go to your banker and ask, is there an automatic regular saving plans? Okay, and preferably go for index ETF. Number 2, if you want to actually challenge yourself to really start picking stocks, you can start by picking sectors. Which sector will be improving, will be actually growing? Maybe technology sector, I shouldn't suggest, but you can go and take a look and just imagine. Sometimes actually investing takes a bit of imagination, takes a bit of discretion. Go and invest into sectors, buy them when the P ratio and PB ratio is typically low. Okay, I mean, if you're interested more to understand more about ETF, you can type ETF and or ask me specific questions. In my next video, I'll explain more. Now, the third way to start investing, if you want to challenge yourself a bit, is to pick your own stocks. And I suggest you can actually start by picking your first dividend stocks. A lot of things will go less wrong when you pick a stock with longer track records. It doesn't mean that you will definitely be safe, but however, at least they've been proven for a longer period of time. So let me go back to the video and see whether you guys have any questions. And I do hope that this has been useful to you guys so far. Is it useful so far? Okay, if it's useful, you can type the like button or let me know what other questions you have. Do me a favor, click the share button so that more people can learn how to start investing. Actually, typically, right, dividend stocks have been proven to do better. If you go to the website again, simplydividend.com, they actually show you the records if you have been buying dividends, Aristocrats, versus if you buy, let's say, S&P 500, the indices. Okay, cool. Okay, so valuation, healthcare. Okay, if you have no questions, guys, I do hope that this has been useful. Continue to ask any questions you have, and that's where I'll be answering them typically on a daily basis on how to start investing, how to start making passive income, and really let's grow your finances together in a very safe way. Cool. All right, I'll see you guys soon. Goodbye.